All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to a big night of soccer here in Hudson, Wisconsin at Hudson High School. We are hosting the WIAA, the Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association's sectional matchup here between, really, here we go. Wow, Raiders had a great opportunity there right off the bat, but just a little bit too far out there, but nice initial run by the Raiders. But so this is a sectional matchup between two of the powerhouses, not just of the section, but of the Big Rivers Conference, the Eau Claire Memorial Old Abes, and who are the number 2 seed in the region, and the hometown Hudson Raiders here, the number 1 seed. So big matchup here. These two teams generally represent at the state tournament. This game does not, the winner does not advance to the state tournament yet, but historically it's really been one of these two teams that emerge in that capacity. So should be a great match. It always is with these two teams. They have played twice this season due to being in the same conference, and here we go. And good rundown there by Henry Vandenbark. Good streaky play there by the Old Abes, keeping the Raider defense honest there. But these two teams have played each other twice already this year. One game to a tie, the game in Eau Claire, and then the second game here at Hudson Raider Stadium was a 2-0 victory for the Raiders. So I've followed these teams for years, and we can expect nothing but, I think, a pretty solid match between these teams tonight. So sit back and enjoy. If you care to drop a comment in the YouTube chat of who you are, who you're watching, and where you're at, we would love to give you a shout out. And there was a definite trip there in the box. See how the referee is going to call this. And it does look like it's going to be a PK right off the bat for the Raiders. But I try to call it like I see it, and that was pretty much a trip. So we'll see. Looks like Aaron Sparling, captain, leading scorer for the Raiders, lining up to take this shot. And we're about 2.5 minutes in, and already things are getting interesting. And Aaron Sparling deposits that goal right into the lower corner. And Raiders take a 1-0 early lead today. That's number 9, Aaron Sparling with the goal for your Raiders. So tough break, tough way to start the match for Memorial, but the good side for them is there's 77 minutes left to make something happen on their end. So we'll start this off with the 1-0 lead for the hometown Raiders at about the 2-minute, 20-second mark. It's a interesting night here climate-wise. We've got fog, a little mist, potential rain at any given moment, yet somewhat warm, humid temperatures. So generally okay for the players on the field until maybe if it starts raining. But Memorial making a run, and the Raiders kicking it out deep in their own territory, and the Old Abes will have a throw in here deep in their own offensive half. Exciting to see on YouTube. We have about over 120 of you tuning in, so we certainly appreciate that. And Memorial there getting a good opportunity, not quite able to, I think, put the cross on that he wanted there, and knocks that ball out. It'll be a goal kick for the Raiders. Raiders like to play it short out to Allenoff. crowd here tonight, despite a kind of blustery, odd weather evening. And good play there for the Raiders. Able to maintain control of that ball. Spiraling now with the ball again. Aaron scoring on that penalty kick. Oof. It's like Henry Vandenbark there with a solid shot despite being about 35 yards out. But sends it wide, and it'll be a goal kick for the Old Abes. This broadcast is brought to you by the Hudson River Channel, and we're pleased to allow people all over the country to, as well as just in Hudson and Eau Claire, to be able to play this game. Hard foul there by the Old Abes is going to give the Raiders a free kick. This will be an opportunity the Raiders can generally put in the scoring area, but they're electing to play it a little shorter and a little wider, and Aaron Connor spiraling here, bringing it out. Raiders keep control, keep that ball moving. Big header out by the Old Abes, and then a clear. Harry Ross maybe trying to surprise, sends a quick left-footed shot in. I think he was really trying to send that a little higher, a little lighter as a chip, but nonetheless, the Old Abes survived that run, and we'll get the punt and see what they can do offensively. Good play there by Wasman. Looks like a early offside call, much earlier than probably most of us even noticed, and that's going to halt everything and give the Old Abes a free kick. Big ball there by goalkeeper William Nordstrom of the Old Abes. Excuse me there. Raiders moving that ball up the field, and a little back and forth here. Both these teams had fairly, I don't want to say easy, but they did not have overly challenging routes to this game. So this is going to be a solid match for both of these teams to prepare for whoever gets to move on in the playoffs. Both teams winning earlier this on Saturday by, I believe, Eau Claire won their match 8-0, and the Raiders won their match 8-1, which kind of gives you an indication of things. And this match, I'm sure, is going to be quite competitive. Big ball in here, little chip. Oof. Gets by and rolls through. So an interesting, gets people's excitement up when the ball is kind of rolling through, and but nobody's there to deliver it, and so the Raiders avoid anything too dangerous there, and will now have a throw-in further up the field. One of the things I noticed right off the bat in this match versus the previous matches is just a lot faster rate of play between these two teams. Probably those of you that are on the Eau Claire side are noticing the same thing. These teams challenge everything. Earlier rounds of the playoffs, you haven't necessarily seen that, so it's definitely a different dynamic in these games. And this will be how it is all the way out. Whoever wins this match will be taking on the winner of tonight's match between De Pere and Green Bay Preble, which should be a interesting play there. Stopping the clock, I guess. Not sure what the call is. Giving a yellow card to the goalkeeper for... Yeah. Giving the goalkeeper a yellow. Not sure if he made some contact that the ref didn't like. It appeared to be outside the box. So it will not be a PK for Raiders backup keeper Tyler Hindall to take on. But interesting, another interesting call and turn of events here. So Tyler Hindall, though, is a highly qualified goalkeeper. Coach Solom has played him in probably half of almost every match, and he has played quite remarkably. So for whatever amount of time Tyler is in here for this match, I don't think anybody's too worried about what's going to happen in goal. So the Old Abes are going to have their free kick. It'll be sort of like a short corner kick in a way. They can take a shot, or they can from there. It's maybe a tough angle unless you got a strong left, but more likely they're going to chip it. We'll see what happens. And got under that a little too much, and sails that shot, and Raiders avoid any drama there again. And just like that, we have Raiders starting keeper Talon Sheets, senior keeper, returning to the game. WIAA rules, you get a yellow card, you have to leave the match. You can return at the next proper opportunity, but you do have to leave the match at least for a bit when you get carded. So very rare that a goalkeeper gets carded. I'm not sure I've seen that too often, but it happens. Actually, thinking back to last year, I think there was, I forget which team, but the goalkeeper actually got a red card for a very hard takedown against the Raiders, but doesn't happen often. So, and this Raider team does not actually get carded very often. They're quite under control. So we'll see what happens tonight. This is going to be a emotional game for everybody. Throw in here for the Old Abes. Header out by the Raiders. Followed up with some good D there to get that ball out. Be another throw in for the Old Abes, but further back. Good header over by the Old Abes. Dangerous, but that's going to give the Old Abes a corner kick as the Raiders head that ball out across the goal line. Big corner kick here. Corner kicks are high percentage opportunities for scoring, so both teams are going to be all over this ball, I have a feeling. They play it short and flat, and it sneaks around. That ball is all over the place. Whew! Goes out, and interesting choice of play, and interesting how that all transpired there. But the outcome is another corner kick for the Old Abes. Will they do the same? Now the Old Abes are lining up a bit differently. Looks like they're going to maybe pop a more traditional one in. No, they're playing out for one man there. Looked like they had as kind of a set play to try to hit one guy who stayed off the line, but ball didn't quite go as planned. And the Raiders now countering. Good run here. And we're now going to have a corner kick for the Raiders. Just like that. Everything kind of spins around and chases around. And that was Owen Netterlow there with the big run. And advances that ball nicely. And Eau Claire had no other option than to really just try to stop the progression. And that sent the ball out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick for the Raiders, which they've had quite a bit of success on in scoring. Big ball in, came in a little low, and the Raiders, oh my goodness. Wow, tremendous touch shot there by the Raiders, but it actually hits the right post and bounces basically directly to the goalkeeper. And the old Abes definitely dodged a bullet on that one. So as promised, this is an interesting, exciting match. We're now at about the 13.5-minute mark. Hometown Hudson Raiders leading by a score of 1-0. See, we do have a couple shout-outs here on the YouTube channel. We got Bob Nelson. I knew you'd be watching, Bob. Bob and Denise. Connor Hauser's parents. Good to have you tuning in as usual from Jupiter, Florida, which I have to imagine the weather's a little nicer there than here. And glad you tuned in. And of course, Ben Wasman. I knew you wouldn't miss it. Again, you're probably enjoying better weather in Las Vegas than we are here, Ben. But good to have you watching, and we'll see what happens here. Certainly welcome shout-outs by all sides of this match too, Eau Claire and as well as Hudson. So Raiders again getting an interesting opportunity here. There's Wasman, kind of just a tough angle, tough bouncer. Owen Wasman all over it, but sometimes it's just not really the right all the thing. Oof! Raiders again get an interesting open look at the goal. We have a player down for Memorial, so we're stopping the clock, and we're going to take a short little break here as we see what's going on. Believe an injury also is the result of one of Eau Claire Memorial's captains, Liam Junker, senior forward for Memorial, not playing tonight. So that's too bad. Liam's a solid player over the years, and we hope his recovery goes well, and that he's up and running and doing whatever he likes to do soon. So with the injury, the ref's going to just turn it over to the goalkeeper, and that's William Nordstrom, who's going to give that ball a ride. Big header there by Aaron, spiraling out to Wasman again. Just kind of come in hard, push it off for a corner kick. It's one thing Raiders are quite adept at, is not always working to keep it alive, but to work for that corner kick, because they have a strong history of scoring on these opportunities, or at least putting a lot of pressure on things to make things happen. So corner kick here, looks like Harry Ross on this one. Sends it up high and long. Owen Wasman on the right side there. Tries to get a solid header on it, but that was a tough, kind of a tough angle, kind of tight to the line. And ball goes out, be a goal kick for Memorial. We got Mark and Audrey Packard in Manorville, Minnesota, cheering on Quinn Packard. Good to have you all tuning in from lovely Manorville. I'm somewhat familiar with the area there, and always glad to have people tuning in to the River Channel broadcast. Memorial trying for a quick through ball there, but disrupted by Jackson Ouellette, and now the Raiders back on the attack. Lots of congestion here. Raiders get an opportunity here, and yep, he's offside. Good call. Owen Wasman. Nice play by the Raiders. Owen or someone in that position, kind of on the weak side, they've been sitting there open, and Raiders haven't always, I think, noticed it. Seems like maybe they're receptive that is an option that's there potentially, and that time they saw it, just Owen was just a yard too far. Some good ball movement there from Memorial, and number 18, Nathan Matiku. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I apologize if I'm not. But some great ball skills there in controlling the ball. Back in for the Old Abes, number 4, Andrew Hudson. Good clear out there by the Raiders, moving that ball up the field. Looks like Kelvin Lassard is in the game for the Raiders. Kelvin's a freshman, having a great freshman season. He must have missed when he entered the game, but he's in the game. And he's a big, tall player, and is going to have a strong future here for the Raiders over the next few years, because as a freshman, Kelvin scored about 8 goals this season, which is pretty impressive coming off the bench, and making a lot happen in his time on the field. Harry Ross pushing it up. Here he's keeping it. Nice cutback. Bringing it all the way in. Sets it up. Ooh. And there's Lassard, it looked like, with that scoring opportunity. And looks like a... Mason Goodsmeal there with some good play, controlling that ball. He's going to send it just across to see if he can get it out of all the mess over here on the near side of the field. Be a throw-in for the Raiders here. Connor Sparling. Connor Sparling with the throw. And with the head to the center. Lassard now settles that ball down. Gets it back to Harry Ross. Aaron Sparling going for a quick outside foot flick out, but the result was it kind of spun off his foot poorly, which can happen on those plays. Big ball in there by Nicky Allenoff. Gets it in. Aaron Sparling just under it with a slight header, but adeptly collected by William Nordstrom of the Old Abes, and that scoring opportunity is averted by the Old Abes. Come the Old Abes on a counterattack. Again, Allen off with a big clear, big strong play by Nicky, junior captain of the Raiders, and in his third year of varsity play. He'll be one of our returning leaders for next year's team. So far, this match has added up to everything I expected, with lots of back and forth action and strong play. Great takeaway there by Lassard. Plays it short inside, and Harry Ross with a blast from about 27, 28 yards out. Collected by William Nordstrom again. Williams had a lot of action in the goal for the Old Abes, but he's held up quite well and is keeping the Old Abes in the match. Quick head over by Memorial, but cleared by Nicky Allenoff. In for the Old Abes, number 6, Dylan O'Connor, and number 11, Sam McBride. Claire playing it out wide to McBride. He's going to bring it back to Eric Karnitz. Bring it in. Taking a shot from about 22, 23 yards out. Send it wide, and must have went off a Raider, because it looks like it's going to be a corner kick for the Old Abes. Looks like number 21, Wesley Paul, taking the kick for the Old Abes. Looks like it's going to be traditional big kick in, but so far they've tried a lot of razzle-dazzle, low plays out, and or kind of a set play on their last corner kick. Again, this one looks like they are trying some interesting tactics on the corner kick versus just the traditional ball. Nice play by Lassard, taking that ball back. Mason Goodsmeal with a nice move and pass into Harry Ross. He decides to get it out wide to Wasman. Good slide tackle play there by number 4, Andrew Hudson of the Old Abes, and the Old Abes are going to bring it back down the field. Allenoff going for that pickoff, just missed it, but Willett was there to cover the stray ball. Ball goes way down into Old Abe territory and will be a Raiders throw-in. Calvin Lassard looks like he's preparing to take it, although it might be, looks like handing off to Connor Sparling. So you might hear the two Sparling names. One is Aaron, one is Connor. They are twin brothers. Connor plays on the defensive end and Aaron on the offensive end, and occasionally they connect. Like the last game, Connor scored a goal off an assist from his brother. And a corner kick for the Raiders. You can see pinned down in the corner. Aaron Sparling kind of does the smart thing there and works to play it off the Old Abes. Big ball by Sparling, sends it wide. Quickly headed out just at the last second by the Old Abes, and it'll be a throw-in here at the 26-minute mark for the Old Abes. You got him? Had some youngsters playing some shenanigans up here in the booth, and you might get away with it once. You're not going to get away with it more than once around here. So the knocking you may have heard is what we were trying to figure out. Back to the game, though. Here we go. Ball up to Wasman. Wasman's got to be one of the conference leading scorers, and he slips a nice ball back. Oh, Raiders again with a pretty solid opportunity there. They're getting their chances. That's the first step in most games is are you penetrating, getting the opportunities, and then what usually transpires is those start to fall. But Eau Claire's defense is holding strong, and I imagine they will keep the battle up throughout this match. I think it was a defender. Yeah, it wasn't a shot. Big ball in by Connor Sparling, just putting it into space and looking for the speed of Owen Wasman to take over. And the battle on the sideline. Little extra push there by Wasman, and now we do see some rain coming down. Not sure you're going to pick that up on camera, but my partner in crime, Jeff Munter, is nodding that he is catching that, so you can see there is a little bit of a downpour going on, which can certainly make things interesting in a 1-0 match. Temperature still seems pretty reasonable, though, so they might be wet, but they're not going to be super cold. Ball goes up to Gutzmeal, and be a throw-in for the Raiders. Little update for Hudson Raider fans of all Hudson Raider fans. The volleyball team is also in the middle of sectional playoffs, and they have a 1-set lead now over the River Falls Wildcats team. So we'll try to keep you posted on that as well. Big corner kick here for the Raiders. Harry Ross and Connor Hauser. Ross sends it in. Big header there, but just couldn't time it right for Aaron Sparling. Raiders going to pop it back up. Offsides call there. Thing about offside is it's by the time you see it that the referee has raised their flag and you're actually looking at the referee, the offside could have been 5 seconds before that. So you have no chance of actually seeing if it was offside. So you have to trust in those assistant refs, ARs on the sideline, and because that's a tough it's not necessarily a tough one to call, but it's a tough one when you're a fan trying to catch up and see, especially with no replay. But refs do their best, as well as the players, in these conditions that they're in right now. Ball goes back to Allenoff. He's going to play it up the sideline, through the groove. Big ball over. That is not offside, but a little too far for Gutzmeal. It's a nicely played ball, but just a little too tight into the goal, so the goalkeeper had the advantage. We're now down to under 10 minutes left in the first half. Raiders continue to lead 1-0. Their goal was a penalty kick off a trip in the box at about the 2-minute 20-second mark. So number 17, Aiden Schrader in the game for the Old Abes. Big ball in. Raiders again. There's Gutzmeal on it. Shielded, though, by Peyton Gross of the Old Abes, and defended well. Gutzmeal picked that one off. He at least wasn't looking at first, but did see that the goalkeeper kind of mishit that and got his heel on it, but couldn't turn it into a big advantage, but the Raiders did take it away. Julie Benoit, one of my favorite parents in the Raiders, bury it! And take a 2-0 lead. Who was that? Who was it? It was Owen Netterlow, number 5, Owen Netterlow. I know. And that's a goal for number 5 of the Raiders, Owen Netterlow. Great hustle play. Julie Benoit, you brought some luck. I was just starting to give you a shout out, and we scored. So the assist to Julie Benoit out wherever she's watching, probably here in Hudson. Oh, on your way to Madison. Anyway, Raiders now with a 2-0 lead. Almost 30 minutes between those two goals. And rain still coming down. Nobody's comfortable with a 2-goal lead with this much time and with weather conditions like this. So we still have a lot of interesting soccer to play between two teams that don't quit. So Connor Sparling sending that ball up deep. Harry Ross collecting that ball in the middle. Netterlow there trying to do a little pass to himself play, but that can be hard to maneuver. Woo! That gets close. But Talon picks it up. Man, that was a little too close for my comfort, but that's how it goes sometimes. And big balls going back and forth. Nikki Allen off in the back, playing it big up the field. Stays in and just goes out, and that'll be actually went off a Old Abe, and the Raiders get a quick throw in. They try to do a quick surprise, but picked off by the Old Abes. Foul called on the Raiders, number 12, Henry Vandenbark. Not sure that was intentional, but certainly can be a foul. They both were kind of roughing each other a little bit, and certainly looked like Henry did a little more than he probably intended. Referee gives them both just a little bit of talking to calm things down, and but I think the wet conditions, despite a nice turf field here, do lead into some of the slipperiness and inability to just stop as quickly as they're used to, especially while it's raining. It will dry out in a hurry, but big ball in for the Old Abes, trying to make something happen here, and that ball gets around. Whew, that was a pretty good opportunity for the Old Abes, and but they send it high. 18-18. Number 18, Nathan Matuku back in the game for the Old Abes. And number 18, Calvin Lassard back in for the Raiders. Ball goes out of bounds. Will be a Old Abes throw-in. We're now down under 5 minutes left in the first half. Pretty exciting first half. I'd say the Raiders probably have had the advantage on offense with a number of legitimate scoring opportunities, but the Old Abes keeping the pressure on, having a few opportunities of their own, just not able to capitalize. Big ball out by Allenoff. Big ball here. Opportunity for the old Abes. Raiders hustle back on D, though. That was number 19, Wesley Mboga, with the opportunity. And it's going to be a throw-in for the Raiders, deep in their own territory. Good pass and turn there by the Raiders. They ended up losing the ball, but that's the first thing you want to do is get it somewhat out. Allen off with the clear, which right now is what you want to do. You just want to get it out of there and see what happens. You know, go into the half, try to go into the half with that 2-goal lead. And comes Lassard. Raiders pressuring hard on the defensive end of the Old Abes, but unable to keep the ball in the offensive end. It's one thing you'll notice about these two teams. They both play defense all over the field. That's what good quality teams do, trying to maintain possession wherever they're at, and you'll see that both sides here tonight. Big throw in here for the Raiders. Looks like the rain has lightened to maybe a mist now, or maybe it's just fog. Raiders throw. Oh, snuck through. I think it kind of actually surprised Lassard. It is not. Well, that's a yellow for number 10, Harry Ross of the Raiders. That's a technicality yellow card, but referees can call it or not call it. The referee decided to call it here. You do have to give space, but you also have to be allowed to have space. But we'll see if that is how it's called throughout the match. And if so, then it's all good. But certainly up to the referee how that's played, and Harry's got to leave the game momentarily. Big ball in. Sheets collects it nicely. Now with about 2 minutes left in the half, the Raiders avert that strike, and we'll try to move the ball up the field. Raiders taking a little bit too much time on that kick, and can see Old Abes are not quitting here, so you got to keep the pace moving here, Raiders. Aaron Sparling gets it out. Big clear there. Spinning clear, gets kind of by everybody. Tough one to read by everyone. And Mboga with the head over there. Connor Sparling with it, sending it out wide to Wasman. Sends it overhead. There goes Netterlow. Kicked out by the Old Abes. There's going to be about 1 minute and 20 seconds here for the Raiders to try to do something interesting here at the end of the half with the throw-in. Decide to play it back short, then back in. Ball goes in the middle. 1 minute. Referee is overriding that and giving the Raiders a corner kick. So they're going to hustle to get this done in 45 seconds. Looks like Mason Goodsmeal lining up to take it. Raiders have all their scorers in there. Big ball in. It's a little long. And that's another corner kick. Raiders better hustle, though. 10, 9, 8. Referee has, I guess now he's saying it was a goal kick and is changing that call. Thought it was a corner kick, but he's got a better angle than me, and here we go. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's halftime, folks. Your hometown Raiders with a 2-0 lead. Certainly invite everyone to the concession stand on this rainy, chilly night for some good beverages and snacks to warm you up. See you in 10. All right, everybody, we are now back for the second half of tonight's WIAA Sectional matchup between the number 1 seeded in the region Hudson Raiders here at Hudson Raider Stadium in Hudson, Wisconsin, taking on the number 2 seeded Eau Claire Memorial Old Abes. It's a blustery, rainy, misty, foggy night here in the St. Croix River Valley. The Raiders, as I said, hold a 2-0 lead in this match. First goal scored at about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Penalty kick off a trip in the box by Aaron Sparling with that goal for the Raiders. And then a goal about 30 minutes later by Owen Netterlow on a nicely placed score for the Raiders. So we have a whole half to play, though, and definitely a lot can happen with these two teams. So welcome back if you're just tuning in and or not. And if you're watching the YouTube channel, you can certainly drop a line in the comment section, and I'll give a shout-out to you and whoever you're cheering for and the team you're watching and rooting on tonight. It doesn't matter if you're Eau Claire or Hudson. So welcome to the broadcast. This is brought to you by the Hudson River Channel station. It's Nicky Allenoff, junior captain of the Raiders, sending that ball deep up the field. We've got some precipitation coming down, and Owen Wasman now with the ball for the Raiders, number 7. No real wind advantage appears in the game, other than you can see the weather is moving a little bit left to right. I guess that would be east to west, but the flags aren't really moving, so it's probably not much of effect on the field for the players. I do see that the Burgers, my friends the Burgers from Hudson, are watching and hoping for a Raider W. Good to have you guys tuning in. We'll see what happens here. Big match. Claire trying to set up something here. Good slide tackle by the Raiders. It was a solid slide tackle. Inadvertent handball on the Raiders, but that's a handball nonetheless. Was not in the box, and will be a free kick close for Memorial. Raiders pleading their case that really didn't have their arms out, and referee is going to check with the AR on a few details. We're stopping the clock, I guess. And I think he's probably checking to see if it was in the box or not. AR probably had the better view of that. Looks like they're maybe in agreement that it was not in the box, and now the ref is going to step the players off for the wall. Well-placed shot can score from here, certainly. It looks like number 21, Wesley Paul, is going to take this shot for the Old Abes, or this opportunity. He sends it out. Kind of looks like hoping for a crossing type play and a header into the goal, and the Raiders get their head on that and send it out. But it's going to be a corner kick opportunity now, and again, looks like number 21, Wesley Paul, is going to take that corner kick, so he must be their kick specialist. And now there seems to be a little wind. They see the flag there kicking in a little bit on that side of the field in favor of Memorial. They're playing it low. So Claire kind of electing in their corner kicks to try some set play types of things. Lots of short plays where they're playing some deception and letting the ball roll through, or they're trying to pinpoint one player in isolation, so far as what we've seen. Now here's a more traditional kick, but a little short, a little low. Raiders able to clear that. A little back and forth. I think Eau Claire's gotten the message to take some shots, because even though that shot was about 30 yards out, they're taking it. Often what happens in the longer shots, though, is you have to get it distance and you kick it a little too high, and that one went out of bounds, or went high on the goal. It's about 4 minutes into the first half. Raiders continue to lead 2-0. Again, the winner of this match will move on to play the winner of the De Pere and Green Bay Preble game. So also update on Raiders volleyball. The Raiders did drop the second set to River Falls, so they're in the middle of the third and deciding set between those teams tonight. So here's Talon Sheets giving the ball a ride here for the Raiders. So far on the offensive side of things, it's been all Memorial this half. The wind might be a bigger factor than I can see from up here, which might be why the Raiders really controlled most of that action in the first half, and now so far Memorial doing the same in the second half. Raiders send it up, looking for some streakiness. Had a chance, but kind of that ball just kind of took a weird little spin there, I think, and Memorial back on the attack. Goodsmeal with some solid pressure. Starting to get physical here. Raiders get by, and that's a goal. That's a goal for Owen Netterlow. A hustle goal, and a misplay by the Eau Claire defense, and that's going to give the Raiders a 3-0 lead. Number 5, Owen Netterlow with his second goal of the night for your Raiders. So, interesting turn of events there. Kind of a hard play, not a foul called, and ball moved up, and a little bit of a misplay by Memorial, it looked like, and the Raiders now the 3-0 lead. Still a lot of time in this game, though, and both teams starting to look a little more physical. Raiders have a lot more to lose on this now, so they need to make sure they keep their cool and don't draw cards or other penalties. Actually, if Memorial wants back in the game, they need to do the same, because there's a lot of extracurricular hits and a little harder hits than necessary, even in soccer. And soccer is definitely a physical game, but I'm seeing it from both sides here, and they both, it's in all their best interest to play a little tighter game here. Foul on the Raiders. That'll be a free kick for Memorial. See my friend Darren Shuckle tuning in. Good to see you, Darren, even if it's just virtually in a comment. Hope you're doing well there in Gustavus, and hope to see you soon sometime this fall. Big ball in, untouched, and going to give the Raiders a goal kick here. Number 18, Calvin Lassard in the game for the Raiders.
What is it? You think so? They do? Oh, alright, I didn't know that. That helps.
Big run down the line for the Raiders. Good hustle play. Oof, Raiders there with some good action. It'll be a throw-in for the Raiders. Ball gets cleared by Memorial. Yeah, I was just watching the replay of that last score, and looked like some miscommunication by the. I was focused on the player down. Little trip there. Raiders will have a free kick here, but getting back to the goal, it looks like Memorial goalkeeper was coming quite far out, and so was the Memorial defender was going onto the ball, and there was some miscommunication there, and the Raiders, Owen Netterlow, just got the ball by both of them, and kind of had an easy walking goal. There's a quick ball in. Whew. Nicely played by William Nordstrom. And Raiders really focusing defensively here. They want to maintain this lead and make it a tough one to overcome. Intensity on both sides is going to be just build as we get to the end here. The history of these two teams really is that one or the other has won the Big Rivers Conference for years, and largely is the representative of the section at the state tournament for years and years. The Raiders have kind of owned that distinction for the last 3 years. The Raiders have won the conference and the section and have represented at the state tournament. So certainly this team is hoping to keep that momentum alive. And here they are penetrating again. Big shot off William Nordstrom, but he holds and directs that ball over the goal. And it's going to be a Raiders corner kick at about the 50-minute mark. Oh, they play 5. Okay, so River Falls now takes the 3rd set in the volleyball match and leads 2-1. I guess I was wrong before. It's a 5-set game or match for volleyball. So Raiders still alive in that, but facing an uphill battle now against the Wildcats. Lassard playing that ball and taking a shot at the same time, and the Raiders again get it. Oh, and a big blast from Wiseman on a relatively open goal as William Nordstrom was hustling to get back into position, but sends it just wide. Heck of a play there for the Raiders, but denied. So 3-0 is the lead we're hanging on to, and Wiseman probably about 1.5 feet from putting that in the far side corner. Comes Wiseman again, big ball in, so high bouncer. Lassard putting some nice pressure on, but ball goes out of bounds, and it'll be a Wildcats or a Old Abe's throw-in. Also note the new Richmond boys soccer team advanced and is playing tonight as well in Division II soccer. So another Big Rivers Conference team doing well and with good aspirations. Raiders getting some penetration on them there by the Wildcats, but nicely played. Hard foul from behind. Clock is stopping. That's going to be cardable, I believe. Pretty. You're not going to do a foul from behind like that without a card in most cases. Charlie Funk with that yellow card, and Charlie's got to leave the match. Raiders, you could tell, were really controlling themselves on that defensive end, not wanting any kind of foul in the box, but having to play some kind of a defense, and they held up strong. So Nikki Alanoff will take the kick, and the clock will turn on in a minute. Referee's recording the events of the match. Big ball by Alanoff. Aaron Sparling plays it back to Harry Ross, who's going to send it up. Raiders are going to be content kind of playing long ball and just letting the clock tick, get the ball down the field, I think, and see if there's speed. And there's a quick play. Whew. Nice play. I think that was Mason Gutzmeal with the shot attempt there. And, again, Raiders keep knocking on the door. Exciting stuff. Number 12, Henry Vandenberg, back in the match for the Raiders. Good ball in. Going to be a corner kick for the Old Abes. Looks like Talon Sheets made a nice save there on the post. Ball goes in. Old Abe's had an excellent head opportunity there. Got on it. Just that ball had, I think, a little more spin that sent it out wide of the goal. And Raiders avert that threat again. Ball's coming all the way back to Talon Sheets. Raiders will work the clock at all possibilities here, and nothing illegal about what they just did, but playing it back like that is definitely going to take ticks off the clock, and that's what good soccer teams do. Raiders play it out. That's Owen Wasman coming back to help out on the defensive side. Lassard up challenging for that header. I think sometimes Aaron Sparling gets fouls because he's solid. Definitely don't think that foul was him, but sure looked like maybe he did the foul. But he's a solid player, and in any event, that's the call. And referee has a better angle than me, and we'll see what happens here on this free kick by the Old Abes. They're going to play it in. It's going to get to a dangerous spot. They get ahead on it. Aaron Sparling there's a little looked like must have called a trip. Sparling went down weird, and Raiders will now have a free kick out of their goal box. We're now at about the 56-minute mark. That's going to get us down to about 24 minutes left in the match. Hudson Raiders continue to lead 3-0. Off 2 goals by junior Owen Netterlow and 1 goal by senior Aaron Sparling on a PK at the beginning of the match. Raiders are going to bring it all the way back to talent sheets. Old Abes are going to pressure. Big header there by Jackson Ouellette. Get the ball out. It's Harry Ross playing that ball nicely out wide to Owen Netterlow. Netterlow's got some speed. It's kind of deceptive because he's not as tall as some of the players, but he's got some jets, and he knows how to kind of use them deceptively. Wasman challenged there by Matiku, and Matiku winning that battle. Little push off there by Oscar Strekoff, but not enough for a call. But again, that's the kind of thing that big header out. Another head. Connor Hauser there. Ball sneaks all the way through to Talon Sheets, who's going to collect that ball on the ground and look for a good spot to punt it and give it a ride. Lassard with a nice head out wide to Netterlow. Slide tackle there for the Raiders, and we got some substitutes. I don't know who came in for the Raiders. Owen Wasman getting a break. Probably won't be a long one. 3-0 lead is not enough for Coach Solom to be comfortable with over 20 minutes left in the match. One PK the other way can turn this into a 2-goal lead, and then another goal can suddenly make it 1. So against quality opponents, a 3-goal lead is nothing to be comfortable with this amount of time left. That throw-in sneaks all the way through to goalkeeper William Nordstrom, who's going to try to get this ball down to his offensive team as quickly, well, as big as he can. Took his time a little bit there. Vandenbark with a nice win on that ball to send the header up, and Old Abe's keep it in and send it way down the line. Ouellette out on the side. And Nicky Allenoff clearing that ball. Claire pushing everybody up into the offensive end. Send that ball out to Lassard. Into Sparling. Drills it! Wow, Aaron Sparling from 21, 22 yards out, tags a hard low shot into the lower left corner and buries it for a 4-0 lead. That's number 9, Aaron Sparling with his second goal of the night. That was a pretty impressive shot. From that distance, Aaron's got a leg. He's in recent years it's really become a solid leg, but even when he was younger, he had a strong leg, and he buried that shot. That was a fun one. So Raiders now 4-0 lead, and getting tougher for Eau Claire to mount a comeback as it gets to be there. A nice little spin move there by Sparling into Lassard. Good defense there by Memorial to take that ball back, though. Hauser with some pressure, but the ball goes off him, and it'll be a throw-in by the Old Abes. Good move there. They're going to get a shot off, and just not really the shot. I think that was number 13, Charlie Funk. Couldn't quite get it all on that shot and sends it wide. Wet conditions can always make things interesting. Use that number 14. Number 14, Mac Mizell in the game for the Raiders. Allen sending a big kick up. Raiders will now really be looking to just get that ball down the field, I think, as quickly as they can. Make Eau Claire work every second of the clock to get it back in their offensive end. Claire has had some opportunities, not nearly as many as the Raiders, but they just have not been able to get too many quality shots and attempts. Again, they're stopping the clock and going to issue a yellow card here. It's kind of an awkward collision. Looks like that's... Who is that? Aaron Sparling? Yeah, it's Connor. Connor Sparling. Yep, number 11, Connor Sparling with the yellow card for the Raiders. I have a feeling we'll see things get a little more rough rather than less rough as this game finishes up, but we'll see. And Eau Claire's getting a opportunity here for a good opportunity for a free kick here. Big ball in by the Raiders are able to get somewhat of a clear, but another clear by the Raiders, but not a solid clear, and a miss hit there, and the Raiders will have a goal kick. Number 21, Quinn Packard in the game for the Raiders. And number 22, Soren Matson in for the Raiders. So Coach Solom now giving some of his starting core players a break with a 4-0 lead. Last thing you want on a slightly wet field is players to get hurt when it's starting to look more positive of moving on in the format of the match. Number 19, Wesley Mboga back in the game for the Old Abes. And for the Raiders, number 7, Owen Wassman back in. Big clear there by Mizell. Nice play there by Gutzmeal. Matson heads it back. A little bit too much there by Jackson Ouellette, and that's going to be a free kick for the Old Abes. We're now down to about 16 minutes in the match. Raiders continue to lead by a score of 4-0. 2 goals for Owen Netterlow, 2 goals for Aaron Sparling. Low ball in. Sneaks all the way through, and that's going to be a goal kick for the Raiders. Number 2, Arik Karnitz back in the game for the Old Abes. Big ball by Allenoff. Into the wind, gets almost to the half midfield. Big ball up by Hauser. Kind of a nice ball because that was going to roll and still could give our offense a chance to get there. Raiders push it up. Here comes Wasman. Good defensive play there by the Old Abes. Does go out of bounds off the Raiders and will be a throw-in. Raiders getting in there again. Wasman's playing it around, and a good slide tackle there by Memorial. And I guess it is a Raiders throw. It's Mac Mazzell with the throw here for the Raiders. So sometimes people see one player slide tackle, and it almost looks like they tripped the other player. But the real rule with slide tackling is if you get to the ball first, you might take the guy out and he might fall down, but that's not a foul. It's only a foul if you hit the body, the feet, the legs first before the ball. So there is some judgment on it, but usually it's not actually that hard to call. And good teams and good players know how to slide tackle, and I think we've seen a lot of that tonight. Some really nice slide tackling plays when necessary. Aaron Sparling there, sending it up the line. Wasman going to use his speed. Not sure that was actually a trip. I think he kind of stubbed his toe kind of tripped himself on the ground, but hard to tell. And seen a few of those kind of phantom fouls tonight by the field, by tough angles, things that might look like fouls, but in any event, the Raiders get the ball this time. We've kind of seen it both ways here, and Aaron Sparling going to take this ball with about 66 minutes left. Pops it in. And not a bad play, but Memorial able to stop it, and William Nordstrom about to give this ball a ride. Big wind advantage on the punts. William was not kicking it that far in the first half, so the wind must be stronger than it appeared. Big ball up by the Raiders. Again, just really trying to keep that ball down the field and make Eau Claire take time off the clock every time to put it back. Allenoff going to let this one go all the way back to Talon Sheets. He's going to wait for a little pressure and then pick it up. And now he'll hit a punt of his own into the wind. Plays it out wide nicely to Gutzmeal. Old Abe's play it up the line. Allenoff has it. Plays it up the line himself to Gutzmeal. Makes a nice little move there. Inadvertent handball on Mason Gutzmeal, and Old Abe's will have a free kick here at about 12 and a half minutes left in the match. It's number 13, Charlie Funk, lining up to take this kick for the Old Abes. They'll look to kind of set this one up right in front of the goal, and Memorial will look to come in to meet the ball from Funk, most likely. But they run some interesting set plays on some of these things. Pretty big ball in. It's on goal. Sheets elects to just eject that ball out, and instead of trying to catch it, and that'll give the Old Abes a corner kick here. Big ball in. It's a nice corner kick, kind of bending from outside inside, and Wasman tries to get that ball off, but spins off him. Raiders are able to clear it. Comes all the way back to midfield. Eau Claire now with about 11 or so minutes left as on full court press. They even had their goalkeeper quite a bit up the field to try to keep any errant ball from going too far deep. Ball comes out. It's going to be a foot race. That's great hustle there by Mason Goodsmeal to keep that ball alive. That looks like it'll be a Raiders throw-in. And we do have a final, and the Raiders have fallen to the River Falls Wildcats in volleyball tonight, ending a great season for the Raiders. So congratulations to the ladies on a great season. Unfortunate defeat tonight, though. Raiders get it back in, applying some more offensive pressure. Going to look and see Eau Claire is really going to want to put something on the board here tonight for sure, so we definitely are not going to see them quitting till the end here. Number 18, Nathan Matuku in the game for the Old Abes, and Tyler Hindall in for your Raiders. Foul on the Old Abes is going to give the Raiders a free kick here. Now getting down to about 9 minutes. Raiders continue to lead 4-0. It's been a solid match between the two teams, but the Raiders really have had the stronger offensive showing, not just by the goals, but by the opportunities, by the time of possession and quality of possession. So it has been an entertaining game, though. Lots of interesting plays, lots of puzzling plays, and some interesting weather to go along with it all. So as is the norm when these two teams play, it's always an intense, good matchup of soccer. Old Abe's off that throw and are able to control it, and hard trip foul there on the Old Abe's. That's number 11, Sam McBride. I have not been keeping track, but I think we're going to start getting into where some players maybe get their second card here if they're not careful. 8.5 minutes left. Raiders with the free kick. Big kick by Alanoff. A big solid leg on Nicky. Connor Hauser with a pop-up. Nice play there, too. Kind of keeping it in play, but getting it up the field. Goodsmeal scrapping it out. There's Lassard fighting it out in the box. Both teams keeping it going. It's not a... Everyone's still working hard, trying to make things happen on both ends of this match. Mizell with a nice clear there. Is that game on Saturday at 4 o'clock for sure? That's what it says on the website, or is that... Okay. Raiders continue to play. The winner of this game, which is looking more and more like it could be the Raiders. Oh, that sneaks through. And it's in the goal for the Raiders. I believe that was Owen Wasman with the goal. I believe he tapped that in. I'll see if I can get a quick view here for official purposes. I guess we're a little far behind. We'll just announce it. Number 7, Owen Wasman with the goal for your Raiders. That's the 5th goal of the game for the Raiders. Don't often see these matches between these teams with that much score separation, but we're seeing it tonight. And with 7 minutes left, still looking for the replay on the goal. Looks like it's coming here. Oh yeah, that's definitely off Wasman. Great play by freshman Calvin Lassard, though, with that crossing play, and then Wasman there with the nice, just getting enough on it to get it in the goal, and goalkeeper came out to play it off one player, but wasn't able to keep track of it on the rest of it, and that's where the goal eventually ended up. So Raiders now staying on the attack, but will clear with the clear here and moving it up the field. Down to about 6 minutes left in the match. Big ball up by Gutzmeal to Connor Hauser. He's playing it out wide. Sends a big cross on. Nobody home, though. Nice play by Connor, though. And big ball off, be a Raiders throw in here. Now down to, got some substitutes coming in. And 19. Number 17, Aiden Schrader in the game for the Old Abes. And number 19, Jack Poole in for your Raiders. Raiders now moving the ball defensively. Down to about 4.5 minutes in the match. Who's that? Number 20. And number 20, Quinn Johnson in the game for the Raiders. Not sure if Quinn bleached his hair, but I don't remember him being that blonde. About 3.5 minutes left. Raiders continuing to apply the pressure, looking to keep the shutout. Big ball in there. Nice play by Lassard. Gets collected by Caden Lennox. And it's going to be a goal kick for the Raiders, or for the Old Abes. Old Abe's looking to still make something happen here. Getting that ball down. Raiders' defense holds. Now down to 2.5 minutes left in the match, and it's looking like the Raiders will advance to play Saturday. Memorial with a tremendous season, advancing this far, and we look for them to return next year to be as competitive as ever. And we wish the seniors of Eau Claire Memorial the best in their future endeavors. And actually, I'll say the same here because this will be our last broadcast of the Raiders season. It'll be turned over to the away game facilities for live streaming and such. But it's been a pleasure. My colleague Jeff Munter on the technical side and I, it's been our pleasure to work throughout the season together and delivering these games to you. And look forward to being back in the spring for the girls' matches for Hudson as well. So thanks again for tuning in as we watch the last minute and a half or so of this match. Big ball in. Good attempt for Memorial here at the end, but again, just not able to get those shots on goal. And the Raiders will take a goal kick here in the last minute or so of the match. Playing it short, moving it up quickly. One minute. Good defensive play by the Raiders. Memorial still attacking, wanting to get something here in the waning seconds. They get a big, nice shot off, but again, a little high, maybe a little wide, but good attempt, but just not quite enough power and under it, a little too much for that to be a shot on goal. And the Raiders are going to play it out wide. Now ticking down, about the last 20 seconds here. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And that's a win for your Hudson Raiders, who will advance to play the winner of De Pere and Green Bay Preble on Saturday in Kaukauna, Wisconsin at 4 o'clock on Saturday. I'd like to thank our referees for a well-called match. I'd like to thank both our teams for a hard-fought game, the coaches, our trainer. I'd like to thank all our friends around the field who kept collecting balls in this rainy weather. And I'd like to thank all of you for attending, and have a safe drive home, and good luck to the Raiders on Saturday.